Hey guys, welcome back to RC. So today we have a Quattro charger here from HOTA. The model is F6 and this is provided by Banggood. So if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe because we will be doing more product review like this to help you in making decision in buying your next RC product. So I've been using the M6D from Toolkit RC for quite some time. This one has a dual output, this one has 4 output. Is 4 output better? Let's find out. So in the box, you get the charger itself. This is the description of the charger in Chinese and English. For the manual, you have to download from the website itself. I'll put a link in the description. There's an English version and also Chinese version. Okay, now let's take a look at the physics of it. It's a 2.8-inch IPS color screen. 2 buttons over here. On the left side is for selecting the channel and the toggling between interface. The exit button has a back button as well. And this one, there's a scroll button with enter. Physical size wise, 11.5 cm at 12 cm and thickness 4.5 cm. If compared to the dual output charger of M6D by Toolkit RC, is quite like half the size, though. At the bottom, there's a stand for you to lift up a little bit for easier viewing. If you look at the left side, this channel 1 output and channel 2 output with HT30 connector, which is very common now, and the balance port. On the other side, the channel 3 and also channel 4 with the same HT30 and also balance port. Each of these output can do max 250 watt, max 6S, max 15 amp, which is way lot more than what you need normally. Discharge current is 3 amp. If you look at the back, okay, there's a cooling vent with an input adapter for between 10.5 watt to 30 watt. So make sure your input power is within this range. So this is very convenient when you want to use it outdoor, especially to charge your racing quads, for example, with 4 output at the same time, instead of having like 4 chargers. So there's one USB type A here for USB output, like for example charging your phone at the field. And this PD type C is also a power output to charge your laptop or your USB device. In the manual, we mentioned that this has a max 45 watt of output, but no mention of the max voltage. And you can see there's micro USB 1 here and micro USB 2 here. Apparently, according to the manual, this is update port for channel 1 and channel 2, and this is update port for channel 3 and channel 4. There's a PWM port here for both input and output, which I'm going to show you. Some cool feature here. So now let's power it up and show you how it's like. So it will do a self-initialization at first, about 1 to 2 seconds. So as you can see, there are 4 channels over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can use this wheel to scroll and toggle between channel 1, 2, 3 and 4. And let's say if you go channel 1, if you press enter, then you'll just go to the setting, which is pretty standard. And so over here you also can choose which channel you want to do the setting, and charge task, well, can be power supply. And these features are just like the standard chargers out there. So power supply, it can be used to output desired voltage and also current. Has a max of 29 watt output. So lowest of a 5 volt. This is where you can set the current at max 15 amp down to 0.1 amp. Next feature is charge. I believe this is a setting where you just charge without balancing it. Battery type supported. Smart battery is for DJI battery, LiPo high watt. So this is where you can go up to 4.25 volt. LiPo up to 4.2, the most common battery type. Lithium ion, so you can charge from 2.5 to 4.2. Then Li-Fi XX, I'm not sure what's that. I think this is the high voltage type of nickel metal hydride. PB, this is lead acid battery, your typical car battery. Nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, which is the old battery. And Eneloop, I like Eneloop by Panasonic. So next is discharge. You can discharge all these type of batteries as well. External discharge is when you are using external discharger that is connected to here, rather than using the internal discharge load built into this. Storage mode will be where you know that you're not going to use your battery for a long time, so you're going to put it on a storage voltage, which is usually between 3.7 3.89. Normally just put it at 3.7 because after discharge the voltage tend to go up a little bit. Balance, this is where you will most likely use because you want to balance your battery, so all 3 cells or all 3 or 4 cells are balanced. Regen, discharge and also sync charge, you can check it on the manual itself. Let's perform a charging task. Now let's go channel 3, and once you're satisfied, press start task. right? So it's charging the status, the current voltage, and the current that is charging currently. And if you want a better view on particularly channel 3, so you can see the capacity as pumped into the battery, then the current charging current, the wattage and also voltage, and also each cell voltage at the moment. And you can just press this channel to toggle in between the 4 channels and also the main menu. So you can see there are different colors. All three colors in blue means they are in standby mode, they're not charging. When it's showing orange, which looks like gold color to me, means it's charging. But the manual says this is orange. So blue color is standby, orange color is charging, and when it's completed, the color is green. And pink is when it's discharging. Now let's say you want to stop charging, you just press and hold this channel button, then you'll disrupt the charging. Okay, then if you want to continue charging again, go to this, and then you see this is the thing I don't like. Previously I've selected 4.2 volt as the end charging voltage, but once you stop it, you have to set it again, and then this voltage display here also depends on what is the last balance voltage of it. If you want to resume charging, I have to select my end voltage again, which is pretty inconvenient. And also once you press back, if you go back to setting again, it goes back to 3 point something, which is the current voltage of the battery. So I wonder why is it not safe. And the interesting thing is that if you are on charge mode instead of balance mode, then it will save whatever voltage setting that you put it on. So let's say I press back now, go back there again, it still saves the voltage. Now let's talk about the global menu. If you long press on the enter button, these are the settings that you can you will set it to your own liking. Task parameters, these are self-explanatory. System parameters, same self-explanatory as well. I want the volume to be lower. Yeah, much lower now, better. Input voltage. When I'm outdoor, I would normally use my 4-cell lithium-ion pack. So I want lowest voltage to be 12, because 12 will be equals to lowest 3 volt per cell. Although lithium-ion pack can go lower, but just to be safe. Completion signal, repeat, so you can tell that's the completed charging. Device name. So let's say long press to save it. So these are my setting. Languages, many supported languages as well. Tools, these are the interesting stuff. Now let's try the servo menu test first, and this is pretty convenient because when you're on the field, something wrong with your servo, you didn't bring your servo tester, so plug it in according to the polarity. Yep, so by scrolling the view, you can okay, so it's very interesting. Okay, normally the servo range is between 1000 to 2000, but once you have gone past that, you can actually really gone past that, and then so your servo can travel way further. So let's say if you can go over 2000, and if your servo has a physical stopper in it, so that could cause jam. Well, now we know that this one doesn't have a stopper on it, that's why you can go past the design value, which is not a good thing. You can damage your potential meter depending on what kind of potential meter is being used inside there. How far can we go? 250 is the mean, and 2500 is the max. Be careful when you are testing this with your servo. You want your range to be in between 1000 to 2000 only. So auto test. Yeah, so range 1000 to 2000, that's the normal one. Yeah, so you can actually adjust this as well. Speed low or high. Mid, high. Range. So PWM measurement is for you to check your PWM output signal from your receiver or from your servo tester, for example. And in this case, I have this receiver connected over here, and this port actually output 5 volt as well. So you don't need the external 5 volt to power receiver for this test. You can just plug it straight onto the charger itself. And let's press enter, and I'm on channel 3. and I have a jumper key light here provided by Banggood as well. Channel 3 is my throttle, so I'm gonna throttle up. You can see the value changes here, and unfortunately the response is pretty slow. It's not like you push the throttle and then it will display the changes immediately. It didn't. You have to wait like half a second to see the changes here. And if let's say I plug it to, for example, channel 3 is rudder. So as you can see, at the middle stick, the signal is 1005, and on the far right will be 2000, and then far left will be about 1000 unit. Now on the ppm out manual, it's about this device outputting ppm instead of your receiver outputting ppm, or for testing your ppm signal. So this will be useful when on the field you suspect that your receiver has problem not outputting ppm. You can use this to try to verify whether, to confirm your flight controller is receiving signal correctly. The other setting on calibration from channel 1 to channel 4, I'm not sure what it is, because when I press enter, it says abnormal, whether battery plug in or not. System self-checking as well. Not sure what it's doing. You just blow up the fan and I wait for less than a minute. Then self-checking complete. Then factory setting to reset back to factory setting, no. And system info will be about this device on the firmware, so I hope there's a new firmware to flash this. That's all the full review of this HOTA F6 provided by Banggood. And all in all, I think if you want a charger that can charge all 4 batteries at the same time, this is the one to go, because at $110 I think that's a pretty good deal. Because if you get 2 of this dual output charger, it will cost you $70 each, which is total of $140. Well, this is only for $110. In terms of feature, I think they are very similar across all range of charger available out there. But in terms of smartness or usage or the design of the interface, I think this is better with the auto detect, the battery series, whether it's for 1 cell, 2 cell, 4 cell. And also I'm annoyed that it doesn't save the voltage setting that you key in, as I shown in the video earlier. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so, because we will continue doing product review like this to help you in making a decision whether to buy your upcoming product or not. So thanks again. I'll see you on next video. Bye.